Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I am Simmer Chase. Today's episode number 52 of our speed builds. So this one is a very fun one and a super iconic one. I know, I say that a lot, right? Yeah, so this one is actually my all-time favorite though. My absolute favorite. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I basically took all the tips and tricks that I know from The Sims in the last 21 years, plus kind of my experiences with what I thought would be like over the top fun, and sort of like what would be the ultimate of like back to normal in a build. And so we have the Faux Bacon Club Bistro. So this is like a quadruple, quintuple entendre basically, because it's like the Faux Bacon Club Bistro, it's the restaurant, it's the bar, it's the club, it's the bistro, plus it's got the sandwich on the menu, plus it's got the club in the lower three levels, then it has the kitchen and manager's office in the first lower level, and then you've got like ground floor bar and like nice restaurant. You've got outdoor cabanas. We've got a lot of tips and tricks on that. I can't wait for you guys to see. Plus we've got all kinds of like really cool like little things, like we have the hydro pyro water feature, which actually allows the like fountain geyser or jet to come up along with the fire from the Get Famous lamp, like that medieval lamp. And then I also do a lot of the BB objects, so make sure to have that on when you place a slot. And stay tuned, because I think you're gonna find a few fun tips and tricks that I've nestled in here. So it's got a fun 30s inspired mid-century esque inside with very sort of modern elements as well throughout. And to just give it that like very West Coast industrial sort of building vibe that's been totally repurposed. This is a really cool restaurant and bar. There's a karaoke lounge on the second floor loft as well. So I can't wait for you to see that too. Public bathrooms, all the usual kind of stuff that I'm known for. Detail, detail, detail. And thank you again so much for tuning in. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe in the links below. And as always, I'm Simmer Chase, and stay proud. Go out and do something magical. And let's go ahead and dive into this build now. See how this really forms together. And if you want to speed up and actually go towards the end, there's a full tour. And then of course the photo kind of spread little bit there at the very end. So right now you're kind of seeing the whole shell come together, and it's exciting because I really wanted to use every tip and trick from Sims, like the whole like 21 years of my Sims life. And like my whole time being on The Sims, playing The Sims, my whole like from the time I was 14 going on 15 all the way till now. And I'm gonna be 35 this year. So it's crazy, because I know every time The Sims has a birthday that I'm getting a little bit older, and there's even more people maybe playing the game, I hope, that are significantly younger than me, because I think it's a really neat to bring people together. And I really enjoyed sort of the ability, because I didn't really have a lot of friends in school. Unfortunately, I was kind of the outcast, because I was like the only gay really out kid, but I was kind of outed. So, I was basically sort of kind of isolated a little bit. And so I really kind of took a little bit of what I knew from just movies and what I could see on TV. And really, it's not that way, obviously, in real life. Like, there's your life just becomes more like a regular, typical life. It's not glamorous or luxurious like what they show on TV. It's not all like, you're going to the bar or the club all the time or something like that you see on like Queer as Folk, for instance. That was pretty stereotypical, but I loved the club that was in there. And I thought, like, then I was actually still, The Sims, when I saw that, it was like around the times The Sims and The Sims 2 were around. And I was like, man, I wish I could make that, but like I couldn't. Like you just couldn't replicate it enough. And so I finally felt confident enough that I could get close enough with our current version of The Sims and all the updates and everything together. So that's what we have here. So I can't wait for you guys to see how the lower levels come together. So out here was really fun to do because like I said, I wanted to give it that Art Deco-y theme and give it like that really fun vibe that just kind of like really draws you towards it. And it's like, wow, this is modern. This is interesting. And so my idea, was just basically to take a building and basically just totally gut it and save a little bit of it and kind of the general design of the facade, like the exterior form, and then just, make it very modern. So I was, thinking maybe, this might fit in like Miami Beach, or this might fit in like maybe the Gold Coast, over in California, and maybe even, out in the tropics somewhere even, or the club downstairs basement. I'd love to see anywhere. Honestly, it'd be so much fun to do. So I really enjoyed doing like the landscaping a lot, as you guys know. And so this place, it does have a lot of the landscaping because I really want it to be bright and like cheery and fun, because it's really about celebrating kind of what is going to be possible now that we're all, sort of like coming together as the world and, having our ability to get our vaccines and kind of getting, back to normal as we knew it, and maybe even better. And we discovered improvements for ourselves or our communities or just even our general happiness, and discovering The Sims or discovering what makes you happy. And that's exciting. And for me, it was really kind of, branching out a little bit and having the channel too, because I am really social, and I just, even in my own real life, I don't know that many people that are into architecture and The Sims. So I wanted to do sort of this channel to kind of, maybe meet more folks too that enjoy that kind of stuff and detail as well. So I'm very much like, my favorite kind of type is craftsman style, and I live in a craftsman style Foursquare. And it's just where it's very fine, strong, carved detail, and a lot of woodworking and masonry, pretty much is just concrete bricks and a lot of really antique wood and that kind of stuff. And so I just kind of wanted to bring that vibe a little bit here. And so you have that sort of design, and now you get to see it in day and night. I'm so stoked like to get you to guys finally see this. So now I'm doing a little trick where you use a platform tool, and then you cut out, because you just delete the platform once you put it in, and then that'll create a void space, or what I call a void space, or where it's the negative space. You can like have like, you can put a roof over it and then it's clean and you don't have any weird ceiling elements, or you can do it to expose like part of the roof like I did here for the pergola. And there used to be, like, back before other updates, there used to be a more rudimentary way to do that, because I think platforms is a little simpler to just draw that, because otherwise you have to draw a room. And then sometimes when I delete the rooms, I don't always take everything, or it doesn't work out as well. And then it allows you to actually have more trim options that way too, if you do it as the platform and delete the platform. I don't know. I think it might be even a bug or something, but I'm actually like really just sort of enjoying being able to use all the tips and tricks too. So make sure you have move objects on with this one, because seriously, it is very like using all of the cheats. So make sure to definitely have that. And you may want to unlock entitlement too. I'm not sure if that matters, but I unlocked entitlement as well. But because it's not a house, I don't think that matters. But now I'm just coming together and starting to get the club space together. So you just kind of saw the beginnings of the restaurant come together. I really focused a lot on the exterior first, because that's really what matters on the gallery too. I really wanted folks to see this and really like grab it, because I think it'd be really fun to use. Everything works in it. And then, like I said before in the intro, you could definitely get the mod to increase the patron sizes of your club, and then just have it packed, and then go in first person mode. And there is some really really cool like moments there that you're gonna have. Like it's just cool because there's like lights everywhere and there's like people and they're like levels above you and it's all this action and it just really gets me excited to think about like what's possible. Like here in Indy, we had a club like this a long time ago, kind of, and it's I really inspired it off of the Babylon Club from Queer as Folk, and to kind of think about that a little bit and very modern, millennium, rise of the millennium sort of stuff, where it's all just like very chic, high end, with a little like rough edges slightly, and maybe like a little bit of modern, mixed with like industrial and a lot of times like of these clubs and bars were just made out of really old cheap buildings, and so that's really what I was thinking about. Like here, if you had like the basement and everything, you just expose everything and like have at it. Like that's the neat thing here is like technically we're only allowed like 8 floors, but then when you use all the platforming and stuff, it can really seem like a lot more. So like the dance floor is like up above, but then I created like dance pits, as you could call them, which are like more like in a techno bar and stuff, but where people are like in a little pit thing and can like group together and dance, which like now is like unfathomable, with the quarantine and then also, the virus and then having, that many people like squished together and it, like, yeah, now it's like, whoa. And so I was just thinking about like, what if like, someday we go back, and are able to, and we're safe to. And so, I was kind of thinking about that and like just dreaming a little bit of like, ooh. So here's one of the first of the public bathrooms that came together. And then what I did was then copied those over to other floors to kind of save time. And then also it's just kind of a recommended idea that I would definitely say. And then here's another moment that I did, and it's the vending area, convenience sort of area. Every level has one as well next to the bathrooms because I wanted to really give it that extra little like detail, and then also the sort of make it seem more realistic. And so like in a lot of clubs and stuff, you'd see sort of that thing there by the restrooms, like a little waiting area. And then I'm also doing the embedded aquarium on this level as well. And then I do, for a lot of the vending areas, I actually created, if you go to the upper cabinets and choose that, and then go to like the full size cabinet, it'll actually go over the vending machines really well. And then you can create like cabinet or custom looking sort of vending machines. And then I also end up doing that with the refrigerators later on when you see the cafe come together. In a moment, you're going to see the cafe and sort of the little like concession area, I guess you could call it, of the club. So people wouldn't have to have the restaurant open all day. They could close it, maybe at like 8 or 10 o'clock and then open the club up for the rest of the evening in real life. Oh, and then here's the ladies' room. I really wanted to go with something that was like really fun and floral a little bit for that level and just sort of make it really fun and goofy a little bit, but just like bright and airy as well. Because, the club. So it's got to be like a little hip and almost like push the envelope a little bit with design and sort of the way that you would set up things. So we're doing the arcade now, and then you're seeing some of the club space come together, like the main pit area, and then also the cafe, and then the arcade, and then the stage as well. So now we're doing the little, like cafe area, and I kind of got ambitious a little bit with some of the, because I usually will put in the tables, and then once I start putting in chairs, I'm like, oh, whoops, maybe like scratch a couple of those or swap them out a little. So here's the cafe area. It's coming together now. And I thought about every little detail on this too, and like what you would see at like a typical cafe. So I do like the little condiment station, the little area where you're going to pick up your stuff, the little community board where you're going to see the yard sales or the community benefits or whatever, like a triathlon or biking marathon thing or whatever's going on. And then here's like the little bubble area. So a couple of these areas, there's just this like little, like niches of space here and there. And so what I did with those was sort of create like little areas for like more private or like intimate social gatherings where again, it's like, oh, not 6 feet away. So you can't do that right now, but eventually someday maybe we can. Yeah. So it's like really exciting to think about. And now I'm kind of creating these like little motifs of flowers, and I love mixing color like as much as I possibly can, and to try and like push the envelope a little bit to like mesh and sort of um get people like thinking about like color and go beyond taupe and the safe browns and the safe blues. And so I'm using a little bit softer of the blues and greens, and then mixing lighting with it. And the fun thing is that you're going to see with all of those like club lights, for instance, and the stage lights, they're actually from the Get Famous pack, so highly recommend it. And then if you enable the bb dot live or let's see here, bb dot show hidden objects, and then bb dot show live edit objects. If you do that, then it's actually cool because it will give you the ability to grab like all the stage lighting that I used here. And I don't believe you don't have to actually activate that cheat to use this property and lot. But basically what it is I kind of mixed and matched some of the like sunset lighting and the other lighting options. There's different lighting lights, like they do different things. And so it's kind of neat because they're kind of intended for those like different scenes that you would create if you were doing a movie set. And so I just kind of took that sort of idea and then morphed it for the club to give it that sort of really neat club feel. And so I think you're going to like that when it goes, especially in first person mode. And I've been really happy with the screenshots and stuff that I got with this one too, generally. So it's really cool. And now the like professional kitchen coming together, I just kept like working around the space that I had, because you guys know like now there's fountains upstairs, there's like all these different platforms, there's sunken areas that you'll see come together soon. And it's funny because then I had to start like little like, you know, gerrymandering myself around to be able to like get through all that as I got around. So again, it's like creating yourself a design challenge and then figuring that challenge out, so that then maybe you can like, you know, like rather than going the safe way with your design, just kind of like challenge yourself a little bit with the design and like work around it and say, well, this is what I have. Like, let's work with this and see what I can do with this space. And that's kind of how I really got to where I am now with like building. Because, you know, if anything, you just hit Control Z and undo it, you know, if you don't like it or it doesn't work out. So here's another trick I like doing is taking the metal posts and then using them as like lantern posts as well. And so you just have to use like the wall sconce ideas, the different pieces from there. And then some of this is using paranormal activity. I really love the tables. So this is mixing laundry day tables with paranormal activity tables, and then bringing in a little bit of the outdoor patio pack and kind of bringing those elements all together so that it's got those like cohesive yellows and bright colors, again, to kind of grab everyone in. So now we are doing the upper level. So at this point, I still did not know how I was going to do up the restaurant. I was like, I'm going to wait until the end and see what space I have left after I do everything. And then I'm going to go back down there and like get that done, because it'll be everything that I can't do everywhere else. And so I was trying to think of everything I would want. So this is a fun little karaoke lounge area. And I did a few tricks here. So if you can use any table you want with the fountain, if you get the special fountain table, like that little presentation table, and just shrink it all the way down. And then you can put anything you want over it to hide it. And then, or use like a pedestal or a table or something like that to cover over it. And then another sort of thing I would tell you here is make sure that when you go to do like upper level lighting, do all your lighting first and then delete your floor under it, and make sure to have move objects on like on, because otherwise you're going to have to sit there and hit the 9 key and go from floor to floor, because all of a sudden it becomes just one giant floor instead of like the way that build works. So it's better to just go ahead and do all your lighting first and then delete out your floor, because otherwise you're going to spend a lot more time like raising it up. So definitely a tip. And then another tip I would say is, you know, with the platforms on the outside, definitely to do that space elimination for your pergolas. And then also, make sure that when you are doing your pieces that you're kind of looking at your scale a little bit too, so that things don't end up accidentally on top of each other. I highly recommend that. And then kind of when you're putting objects together, just kind of look at how like the space would flow in between them. And then I that's why I like to do sort of the when I rotate and flip sort of my seating arrangements and stuff. You see me do that a lot, and that's because I feel like there's a lot more space in between the furniture that way, and it's able to kind of have a little bit more space. And so there's another trick that I used with the fountain idea where you just kind of create with the BB objects cheat, you just go ahead and pop in a little, a couple of things on top of each other that makes sense as a fountain, and then throw in the little what I call geyser, but it's the little jet, the water jet there from the fountain tool. And so now we are coming into the actual tour. Yes. So now for the next like 10 minutes, we're going to just kind of look around because I felt like I had to make the video pretty like tight. I had to make it short to be able to really fit like my time constraint of being less than 30 minutes for my build and videos, and then like a couple minutes for commentary. And so I was like, like I really want to make sure that you guys can really see everything in here. So so I slowed it down and just kind of let you guys be able to see around. So here is the sunken bar area as it came together. And I was like, this needs to just be a really cool bar, and then have really fun seating around it. And then it kind of encourages people to wander up into the other levels for the restaurant part as well, so that you don't end up with them all just kind of being in this little tiny area. You're kind of spreading them out a little bit and through your restaurant part of it. And then it's really fun because I ended up kind of masking some of the areas to kind of like give it additional like division when you walk in and stuff with the fountains and doing those like in place fountains, and then doing all the lighting over top of it. I really like being like to draw people in, so that's kind of why you're seeing this angle here now. And then we have the sunken outdoor like what I call the mini concert area where you could like enjoy a little concert. There's a little stage over there. And then I want to just give it really fun, colorful vibe, where it maybe could have been like an old courtyard or something back in a long time ago, but now it's been like converted to a really cool bar and a little stage area, maybe like a Jimmy Buffett concert or something, So there is from the stage area, so you can see that good here. And then we're going to come down a little bit and you're going to see some of the other pieces in a moment. I can't wait. Cool. So now we are back in. Yeah. So there is our little bubble below our like recessed little area here. So that little sign's like, hey, yeah, if you're like 21 or younger, don't go over here and don't mess with this. And yeah, no. And so now you're looking down. This is the exposed like first lower level with the kitchen. So it kind of makes that whole area feel more open. And then we're going in the main outdoor bar. Now, I kind of like set this up as like a Floridian bar that I remember from back in the day. So there's like this was several years ago when I lived in Florida. And so I was like, I want to create sort of that idea and like their porch. Like they had a huge like bar porch thing that was pretty modern, with like, sort of like a mid-century modern flair. And so I thought of these chairs and then just sort of like the bar, and then was like, I really want to make this and then do like the pergola idea a little bit too, because it's The Sims and like there are other covered bars. So I thought it'd be fun to have one that was like kind of expose the elements a little bit and allow a lot of sun in as well. So like, the bubble blower area has that fun little, octagon or like multi-sided sort of like dome basically over it, but it's like a really sort of conservative dome. It's not high peaked or anything. It's just going to let in a lot of natural light and kind of make some fun patterns on the floor as well as the day changes. So now we're looking up here at the upper level. So this is our little karaoke lounge. And it's just a lot of little areas you can definitely go and challenge everyone, anyone you want to. And also, like, be stylish. So here's one of our bathrooms. I really thought of everything I could. Like the trash can placement, for instance, sanitizer, you got your paper towels, light, plenty of lighting, all that kind of stuff too. Here's our pro kitchen. We're gonna go and just take a peek in this. And they're actually busy at work right now because we're really busy. The place is getting packed as I enabled the mod. So they're like working like crazy nonstop. Like literally they never rest. And there's probably another mod out there to kind of help them, but I haven't got it yet. So now we're in the manager's office here on the first lower level bathrooms for guys and gals. And now we are down to the second lower level, and now this is the club. So we second, third, and fourth levels are the club. And I am just so stoked to finally have you guys really see this all come together. It was something, I've just envisioned since I've been playing The Sims. I really wanted to do something like this for years and kind of share something like this. I've never seen anything like similar to this really pop on the gallery. And I'm just like, I want to create that Club Babylon sort of feel that just gives you that wow factor. And I put column placements and things like that and thought more about like real life so that you didn't really obstruct a lot of views either of the main stage. So I really took care in making sure that when you're looking from different angles, you're not obstructed by posts. Because that's the most frustrating thing, especially when you're trying to take a screenshot or something like that. And there's like this random post in the front of it or something like right in your way, and you can't even see everything. So we have all these guys, they're just like hanging out, coming and going a little bit. The place is starting to get busy. Here is now the third lower level concession area, actually, guys and gals again. This one I went a little bit more colorful on, so I did like the floral on the sides. And then here again, I'm doing the aquarium in the wall. So windows, aquarium, check. Then we have some of the other tricks I used was the pyro and hydro feature wall. Yeah, so this feature wall actually has pyro, fire, and then it also has the water. So here in a moment, I actually go in and change it and like pause. I cut the video real quick. And then when we turn around in a moment, you're going to see like where the fire starts kicking in. And I'm gonna like possess the guy or whatever and go and be first person mode, and you'll see him actually, because right now I'm using the like a cheat basically to like show you guys this sort of angles and stuff, but eventually here in like a moment, it's funny because then I become in that guy and we're actually gonna go into the dance cage and look around and a few other things. Just and like the first person mode, so I can't wait for you guys to see that. So this is just like the general tour looking around. So here's sort of like the private bottle service area I was thinking about, where you'd have close access to the bathrooms just in case, but then there's bottle service there, little private dancing area, the dance cages, all that kind of stuff right there. If you use plenty of lighting around the dance cages, it actually kind of looks legit from The Sims, and you just have to use that privacy wall with the platforms. So use like level 3, probably 2 or 3. If you're doing the tallest wall, probably level 2 or 3 for your platform. And then it'll create like 2 or 3 steps. And then you just kind of create your little box, pop the steps in, and that's it. And then down here is our dance pit area. So this is the lowest part of the club. So I imagine there'd be like crazy amounts of people in here in real life if, like things were back to normal. And so we are now looking at the sort of upper level areas. I just wanted to really get a good look around because I'm really proud of like how this turned out, and I was super stoked. It took me about a week to make this. Maybe like 8 or 9 build hours, which isn't really that much like for me, I guess, but like it is at the same point because like it felt like it took a lot longer, but it really didn't. It was just because I kept like waffling a little bit on different design directions, but then that sort of stuff kind of I cut out because I was just like, oh, I need to, like definitely speed this up so you guys can really see the detail here more than anything. And so I wanted the tour, to definitely really showcase the best of what I tried to do. And so you have that like catwalk area there in between the orchestra pit, which is right off the main stage. And then you have here again the bottle service area with your private DJ area. And then there's also the main DJ on the main stage as well, like what you would see in like a really cool like West Coast club. And now we're in our dance cage. Oh yes. He's like not real sure how to like make of it because they don't know what to do in a dance cage yet, but someday maybe they will. But he is dancing in the dance cage and I was like stoked. But there was like this weird quirk where I had to like make him like, this is something you'll probably have to do too, but I think it's the way that the platforms with the stairs and then the room and then the walls, everything, all the way it worked. But for some reason, like my guy, like I had to teleport him onto the platform of that because he wouldn't walk up there. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, okay, so I even like deleted like the little like invisible fence area there at the stairs. Nope. So I just don't think they want to like stand on the platform if like the stairs are right there. Unless there's like a stair platform. Like they're thinking it's a stair platform and they need to not be there. And it's like, no, I just want it to be one square so it can be the dance, cage. So now we're looking up from his perspective, seeing the club. Woo, woo. And he actually was like, girl, I am challenging you to a dance-off. So our guy is now in a dance-off. And we'll go ahead and let him do that. And you guys can see the stack here. And then there's a little photo gallery here at the end. There is the pyro. So now you can see how it worked out. And basically what it is it's the torch lamp from Get Famous. And you just pop it up a couple times in the lower level below it. Pop it up a couple times. And, well, like probably 8. Pop it up there. And then it will light the fire there for you. And then I also then wanted to add another layer element and did the pyro hydro feature wall with it. So here is the day, night, midday, sunset of the whole spin around of the Faux Bacon Club Bistro. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, I'm Simmer Chase and stay tuned for the photo gallery coming next on the video. Thank you again so much. And as always, stay proud and go out and do something magical.